One, two, three. A very warm welcome to you. This is Tom. Today's topic is job interviews. We're going to discuss job interviews. I'll introduce the vocabulary. I'll read the text, and then I'll show you some grammar exercises to do. So let's start with the final hurdle. In other words, the last stage of something to fall short of. In other words, to fail yourself, to entail the consequences of something. I don't know what the job entails. To reveal means to tell somebody about something that they didn't know of before. We can reveal the truth. We can show a lot of motivation to do something by expressing eagerness. We can be tempted by the devil. We can vent our emotions. In other words, express. For example, we can vent anger, we can vent frustration. A know-it-all is somebody who always knows better. The annoying type. Proactive, so somebody who looks for solutions rather than problems. A good thing to do, in my opinion. Unless you're a passive-aggressive type that's always looking for problems. Well, for me, it means you're just difficult, and I don't like you that much. Sorry, but that's just me joking here. To assume, from assumption. So we can, when we formulate a hypothesis, we assume something, and then we verify it by looking for evidence to find facts. Cue, it's a signal, for example, for an actor to start his role. Salary, it's the amount of money you earn over a year. We have a monthly wage or and a weekly wage, but an annual salary. Perks are company cars, cell phones, all the additional benefits you get with your work. Remuneration, that's a very, very nice word for salary. Of prime importance, so of most importance, top of the list of priorities. Overly eager, so showing too much enthusiasm. Dress code, obviously, what you should wear to work. Well-groomed means that you've showered, you've shaved, and you look fresh. BO is the opposite. When you smell of BO, you smell of body odor. And when you're hungover, you've drunk too much, and the next day you feel sick. I don't want to swear. When you're stuck in a rut, it means you're like stuck in a hole that you can't get out of. Yes, and it's something that needs changing if that's where you find yourself in. Job interviews. Of course, these words appear in the text, and then there'll be some grammar. Imagine that you are one step away from your perfect job. You've reached the final hurdle, and all that remains is meeting your future employer face to face. What should you do to prevent falling short? Number one, do your research. This involves finding out as much as you can about the company that might employ you. On top of that, you should know as much as you can about what your potential future role entails. Be punctual. Arrive at the office at least 5 to 10 minutes before schedule. On the other hand, coming for the interview much too early may reveal unnecessary eagerness or even desperation. However, you should always avoid being late. We say better late than never. In this case, better early or you won't get the job. Avoid any kind of negativity. Your previous employers may have disappointed you, and you may be tempted to vent your frustrations during the interview. However, if you do so, you have chosen the wrong place and the wrong time. If you're asked about your previous work, it's worth being diplomatic and focusing on how you developed during that time and how you solved the problems that you faced. Do not pretend to be a know-it-all. Know-it-alls avoid asking questions. When the time is right, be prepared to ask questions. Be prepared to inquire in a way that's honest, proactive, and logical. So prepare the questions beforehand, predict, and also you can formulate questions off the cuff. So off the cuff means spontaneously. You should assume that you are already part of the organization and are enthusiastic about your future role. And that's how you really should feel. There's no point in faking it. Or you can fake it till you make it. Well, there you go. Wait for the interviewer's cue before inquiring about your future salary and additional perks. Although negotiating the remuneration you deserve is of prime importance, avoid seeming overly eager about this point. Nobody wants an employee who is only in it for the cash, only in it for the money. Adjust to the corporate dress code. By being aware of how to dress for your part, you should display a sign of respect for your future role and the organisation. Moreover, remember to be well groomed, fresh and showered. If, however, you decide to go out partying with friends the night before and arrive tired, smelling of BO and hungover, it's doubtful that this will be the job for you. Be honest to yourself. If you fail to stick to the rules above, the chances are that deep down inside, my mistake, typical mistake, you are not really in the mood for dancing, in the mood for this job. There is nothing worse than being stuck in a rut, working in an organisation whilst counting down the hours for the weekend to begin. If, however, you're happy with what you have, maybe it's not worth even contemplating changing your job. Because the grass is not always greener on the other side. Or is it? Now, grammar. Revision of active and passive tenses. I will send you, or I will upload an additional table with active voice and passive voice examples. Okay, so take care and see you soon. Thank you very much for listening.